Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Justin.
And I'm Christian.
And today on the VC Files, we explore innovation. Can Vacheron Constantin claim to be innovative? And if they do, how do they express it in watches that we will plunder from the archive? You're gonna have to watch to find out. Welcome back to the VC Files, where Christian, Justin, and I plunder the Vacheron Constantin archives under the watchful eye of Jean-Marc Vacheron, who wrote this ledger to capture the first watches ever made by Vacheron Constantin. That is the actual ledger. That's how close we are to the legacy.
We won't be invited back if you touch that book again.
I know, I keep doing it. I'm told to put on the gloves.
Where are the gloves? Where are the white gloves?
But we truly have the most extraordinary access to Vacheron Constantin from here. And each episode we deep dive on a theme. And today that theme, Christian, is?
Innovation.
Do you think that the world at large considers Vacheron Constantin synonymous with innovation?
Well, I hope so. Okay, so what? Actually, yes. I think that's the truth. However, I would say, when you think immediately about Vacheron Constantin, I think probably you think about, elegance, sophistication, refinement, some kind of classic with a twist, etc. And I think it's a great topic to discuss today because, yes, definitely Vacheron Constantin is innovative. There are multiple reasons behind. So first of all, okay, so this year we are entering the 271st year of non-stop activity. So Andrew, it's my turn to ask you a question. Do you think we really have been surviving without creativity and innovation? Do you think?
Touche. Can I answer that by doing a wrist check today? We haven't done this before.
Oh yeah, true.
But I think that it would be fun if I can be the school teacher for the day. So Justin, tell me, how does your watch speak to innovation at Vacheron, and what are you wearing today? Because I can't quite see from here.
So this is a watch that I...
It's your 1921,
yeah, this is a 1921 yellow gold. It was a model and has been a model that I've always loved, and I secretly picked it up the day before I got married in 2021 on the 21st.
Oof, you nearly missed that, by the way.
On the 21st, on the 21st of August, 2021.
You picked up a
1921.
Oh, come on.
Beautiful story.
That can't be real.
She absolutely...
The audience is shaking their
absolutely
heads.
legitimate, completely true.
Yeah.
She didn't speak to me for the whole day when I rocked up on the wedding day wearing it.
Okay.
Because she knew how much it was. She did love the watch, in fairness, and she did speak to me the next day. But ultimately, absolutely love it. And I think I might have even snagged the last yellow because the yellow was discontinued, and I got the yellow just before it was discontinued in London. And honestly, it's just a joy. It's got that, for me, it encapsulates Vacheron as that twist on a classic, that little twist on a classic.
Very true.
It's always, people are always asking questions about it because it's got that off-center dial, it's got the crown there at 2 o'clock, and it's this sort of cushiony square case. Absolutely love it. And strangely, there is a bit of a link to this watch that I'm holding right here, which will come to the innovative...
Are you hogging the mic already?
I'm hogging the mic. Do you know what?
We
didn't plan it. Sorry, we didn't plan it. But if you take this aluminium pocket watch and twist it just like that, you've basically got the same dial.
That's trippy. Okay,
So there you go.
I'll allow it.
Well done.
So there you go. Anyway.
I never did
Christian,
that one.
this might be the first time, by the way.
Yeah. So
that I've sat next to someone.
Actually, we didn't discuss together before with Justin. So yeah.
You guys can hold hands if you want to.
Yeah. So I think this is one of the novelties of this year. So this is I would say the new face for the American 1921. So this is the 40 millimeter like yours. Mine is in rose gold, and we have a new dial color. We have a paler I would say silver. With a bit more deep
grain
inside,
texture.
And we have also blue accents, meaning dark blue Arabic numerals, and also blue steel hands, and a blue strap, which I think makes a great combination for me today. So this is the watch I'm wearing today.
Nice. That's how you do a wrist check, Justin. Nice and concise to the point. I am wearing the 222, which is my favorite watch of all time.
Wonderful.
And truly, I have seen what is coming from Vacheron this year, and I thought, will I just do it again? Will I come to the press presentation early in the year and then order a watch? But I think I'll resist this year. But last year certainly was a case of this day, almost to the day. You and I were here. Yeah. And I saw this, and it was the first time ever that I have had a little quiet whisper in the ear of Vacheron and said, please, 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 let me.
Anniversary stamp on that one as well.
Absolutely, in the first year of production. So that's what I'm wearing.
One of the cool things actually that I've got to show you is on this watch, the larger, so the 40 mil. If you scroll the hands through
this is cool.
to 3 o'clock,
yeah,
it perfectly aligns. And I love the subdial on this 1921 because it's got a bit of snailing to it and a bit of contrast to the dial. But it perfectly aligns with the sort of observatoire circle on the hour hand to the sub-seconds. Just a little something that I must admit I've never caught in action before, but saw that today.
Observatory hands, again, the geeks out there are going to love that reference, Justin. So that's us. That's what we're wearing today. Yep. But really, the challenge to this man here was Mr. Selmoni. Justin and I would like to crash your venue, and we'd like you to guide us to the most innovative, quite hard to say after 7 coffees, examples of from the archives to illustrate this point. What do we have here?
So I think maybe as an introduction on the topic of innovation, well, actually here we will talk about watches from the past, 3 of them, and one timepiece which is very important in the recent history of the brand. So I think in the recent years, so I think we have been very much innovative. So I don't want to mention all the watches I'm thinking about, but think about last year, for example, the Solaria, which became the world's most complicated watch ever made with a lot of patents and novelties, including one new complication, which is the temporary tracking of celestial objects, which is a complication name that I absolutely love, by the way. The year before, we were here with the Berkley, remember, at Watch & Wonders. So I think we are really, I would say, and we are really willing to develop more and more innovation. So we are talking about watchmaking technique. But when we speak about innovation, sometimes it's also about the design, and it's also about materials or service or a lot of things. So on your request, guys, I selected 3 watches from the heritage, and they are quite unexpected, some of them, in terms of what we call innovation. So, after this short introduction, I'd like to start with a timepiece from 1825.
Nice.
I love it very much because, well, we are in 2026, so this watch is, if I'm counting well, 201 years old, and guess what? This one is a jumping hour. So I think it's pretty amazing. Okay, so we know the jumping hour. Justin is the biggest defender on the planet of the Saltarello, which is also a jumping hour. So personally,
official ambassador.
Yeah, official ambassador. I think it's really amazing, right? Okay, so think about it. More than 2 centuries from now, we already had a jumping hour system on this timepiece from 1825. And I think it's a very interesting example of Vacheron Constantin being avant-garde, if I may say, in terms of technicality.
Isn't it crazy to think that's a 200-year-old watch, still ticking, still running, still working, and now we're having a jump hour moment out there in the world.
Yeah, it's true.
The Saltarello is actually from the 1990s, but right now there are jump hours absolutely everywhere. And for most people, that's the first time they're ever getting hands-on with a jump hour complication, and yet we've got a 200-year-old.
So that's why my choice was not so innocent.
So can I ask this question then?
Yeah.
What is it about this very simple? Because if you're scratching your head about the jumping hour and not quite knowing what that means, it's simply that there's a numerical display that it doesn't drag, it jumps on the hour to the next numeral, and then there is a
minute track.
A minute track, yeah. And sometimes a second track, as there is on this watch. But it's such a simple time display. It's so legible.
Well, very much.
It's the key point. So easy to read. But what is it about this that resonates and keeps recurring?
Yeah. So I think that watchmaking is also, it's not only about creating complications or creating new design. It's also how do you express time in a different manner. So I think this is the reason why of such watches. And I think, Andrew, you pointed on something which is highly important. So it's about readability. So you get an immediate readability, obviously, thanks to the jump arrow. I love them very much because they are more complicated than simply dragging systems. So this, so in terms of watchmaking, it's more complicated, and I think it's also a chic, very chic way to display the time. So I love them very much.
Look at the typography, like the 4 and the 5 and the 6. There's scrolls for days. There's so much charm to them.
Very much.
I mean, it's just wonderful.
And Justin, I must admit, I've never owned a jump hour watch.
Yeah.
What do you like about them, actually, from a collector's wearer's
Very,
point of
very
view?
easy and quick to set.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I think. As much as I like complications, if you're an owner of a Perpetual calendar out there, it's not the easiest thing to get going when you're rushing out the door with kids and dogs and cat fur on the jacket. It's not easy to get out the door and set up a Perpetual calendar.
That was a personal dig because Marcus just extracted the hair, basically one by one.
Andrew's a cat guy, for anyone out there who doesn't.
I'm a newly minted cat lover.
But the thing about the jump out is so quick and easy to set. And I would say also such a joy to just literally, and I think for the super geeks out there, there's just the joy of the haptics of owning a watch.
Sure.
And the sense of the pusher, the sense of the jump. Some jumps are different to others. Some are much more there's much more of a whack, like a sort of mechanical whack. Some of them are a bit more sort of slow to respond, but then click into gear. So there's just something satisfying about it. The readability is a joy. There's something about the idea, and I remember hearing a friend speaking about this, like we kind of all know what sort of hour we're in, but it's that quick glance at where through the hour we are that you need to know. So it's like, okay, I've got this meeting till 1:30. We started on the hour, got 1/2 left, and that's giving you that quick readout. So yeah, I mean, that's what I love about jump hours.
But do you get a bit excited at like 55, 56, 57? Do you tend to think, I'm going to check back in on the snap?
Honestly, I'm so confused most of the time that I struggle to even remember to glance at it, and just there's so much going on to absorb the attention. I rarely do. But and it's not this one. But yeah, it's a joy, and for me, it's one of those. Anytime there's an opportunity to talk about watches to people, where you might be able to have you may be able to sway them, inspire, educate, share the passion. And a jump hour is one of those sort of whimsical things, especially combined with the retrograde, which is uniquely Vacheron, I would argue. So it's combining this early step into a different direction in the jump hour, but with a retrograde, which I happen to love. And I think it's a Vacheron thing.
On top of that, I think also jumping hours, at the end of the day, they are pretty rare. There is a kind of a hype these days on the jumping hours, but it's if we look at the past, I would say you see some jumping hours at the beginning of the 19th century, then not so many, and it came back. You know, the digital watches from the beginning of the 20th century. Some of them, they are beautiful, and then there is also once again a long moment without so many jumping hours until the 90s, I would say, and it's great to it's always a great way. I think it's a great way to display time, and I'm really
it's interesting. Innovation does take different forms, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, you know, we were involved in this process, but really, Christian, you and the team selected these watches, and it's just interesting. People in their minds, they're anchored. Innovation has to be technical.
Technical.
But actually,
sure.
you know, look at what we've got on the table. It's a real mix.
That's why I wanted to also. So alternative way to display the time for me, it was an interesting one. The next one, honestly, guys, is mind blowing. Yeah. So we are moving from 1825 until the year 1931. And this pocket watch here, is from 1931. You guys, you will have to guess what is the thickness of the movement. But before telling me, just have a look and think about it.
To say that it feels like someone's putting like those steel credit cards in your hand, like a platinum Amex card or something, and it actually has that feel in the hand of an actual steel card. Good Lord. I mean, that would have to be
I can help you a little bit by telling you that the whole case is 3.5 millimeter.
It's 3.5, okay. Yeah. I'd have to say it's around 2.
Around
2 millimeters. It couldn't be less than that, Justin.
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You said that before you even held it. You're just trying to undercut me. I see what you're doing there.
1.8.
Yeah.
So, okay. So actually, we made a couple of them in 1931. The movement is 0.94 millimeter thick, less than 1 millimeter, which is just think about it. even these days.
1930s.
So no computer, no, I would say no, everything has to be done by hand.
Yeah.
And think about the watchmaker who had to assemble the movement and set the time. So yes, this is phenomenal.
This gets into the territory of, I know with Piaget and Bulgari, we scripted so many videos to try to continue to make this topic interesting, but thinness can be a complication in itself.
Yeah, but there is actually there was a big debate through collectors community about complications, because the rule says a complication is any kind of added function to the indication of time. So this drives us to the difficult question of the tourbillon, by the way, but we are not going to cover it right now. But some experts or some collectors, they really include ultra-thin movements as complications. So this can be discussed.
The interesting for me is again, we've had in recent years with some of those brands you mentioned, Andrew, like a real shift into ultra thin, and we've been endlessly impressed by the thinness getting thinner and thinner and thinner every few years. But the reality is, 1931, like 1931, this is not something entirely new. And the other question is, when it comes to usability, wearability, interactive.
I think this is the key point.
Where's the optimal level? Where's the optimal level?
Yeah, this is the question, which is the reason when we speak about records. Yes, okay, so you can build thinner and thinner and thinner. There is a momentum in which while you're probably losing comfort of wearing the watch, etc., etc. But anyway, so I think it's very much rooted in humanity to break the records.
I mean,
but it is interesting. But to come back to this timepiece, it's true. It echoes to all the efforts that have been made in the recent years. But if we consider that timepiece in its era, before the Second World War, where machinery was what it was, I think it's extraordinary.
The blued hands. I mean, it's just
everything.
It's literally just.
And it's Bauhaus style, so pure.
It's so pure.
And it's platinum.
It's platinum. It's got some.
Which is not the easiest material to work on.
Well, can you imagine the lifestyle of the owner of this?
This is what I want to get to. Like, who are these people that, like, back in with this watch, and even with that, are they punks? They're rebels. Are they modern day Richard Mille wearers that want to walk into a room and have the ultimate flex? Look, no hands. In this case, like this. Can you imagine the friends of this person?
Because it's coming from what down here,
and then you're turning it around like this to show people. You can only imagine.
You're not showing anyone. You're not showing anyone. I don't think with this. No, I don't think. I think this is something. This is the absolute connoisseur. This is the
fully agree.
This is the insider. This is
only
the absolutely most elegant gent you've ever come across. He pulls this out at the end of the evening. And doesn't even need to pull it because he knows the time.
And that's why it's in platinum, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Because platinum goes with this kind of clients.
I would suggest that the owner of this actually never showed it to anyone else.
Justin,
I think
you're romantic.
They had this in the back pocket the whole life.
Totally
it's
disagree.
Incredible condition.
This is a 1930s Richard Mille wearer, basically, who's just holding it up and making sure that everyone can see.
Never. This actually is the encapsulation of the brand in many ways. This is the Vacheron. This is the encapsulation.
Yeah, I agree.
Look how tight the hands are to the dial. I mean, to me, that's always a giveaway on fineness is how tight the hands are to the dial, and it's just
everything is flawless, and it's
I just want to sort of
supreme sophistication and simplicity. If I may say.
I mean, there's so many quotes that you could give about sort of understanding.
I wish we could time travel back to the scenes that this watch would have had around it, because
what was he driving? What was he driving? What was she driving? I mean, that
1931. I mean, what is that? Model T Ford?
Duesenberg.
I would never know.
No,
God knows. It would have looked beautiful, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yes, this is part of an aesthetic set, isn't it? This is so that's okay. So we've actually addressed innovation from two perspectives here, which is function and form.
Yeah, we have been talking about exactly. So now we're going to see something very different. So I'm tempted to give this watch to Justin, who is once again the best ambassador, I think, for this timepiece.
Oh, he loves this watch.
That you know so much because we spoke together about this timepiece many times. But yes, it's a great one. But you should put it in your hand and tell me what it is.
Oh my gosh!
How many grams?
What material is it?
I mean, the only thing I can think that's that light is like a tin can. I mean, it's some sort of tin.
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yeah.
20 to 22 grams, as I understand, depending on the model itself.
So, I mean, my question is why for these two? Like, it doesn't
But
help
because
the function at
because
all.
our podcast is about innovation, and so that's why we do about this watch.
I know, but why?
No one was doing it.
No,
right?
no,
In the
sure.
1930s, no one was making anything out of aluminium.
Yeah, but the story the story is that Vacheron Constantin was contacted by Aluminium Corporation of Canada.
Yes.
They wanted us to develop watches that would be Jubilee watches for their, I would say probably the executives who were going to retire after 25 or more years of service.
Because I'll read the inscription.
And Vacheron Constantin said yes, and they developed a whole watch, namely not only the case but the movement as well.
Presented to
Is in
W.N.
platinum.
Collishaw by Northern
Is in
Aluminium,
aluminium,
I'm going to say, not aluminum. Aluminium Company Limited in recognition of long and loyal service 1953. So the movement is made of aluminium.
Yes,
Bridges.
most of it.
Surely
Okay,
it would affect
except
performance.
some exactly
Bridges.
bridges are made of.
Bridges,
Not components.
No, and
hands, dial,
thank you, sir.
numerals,
Carry on. Yeah,
the crown.
the crown as well.
Who's the
Yeah.
expert
Everything.
here? Oh, I'm saying too.
Christian's helped me over the years because I've just, the minute I
You're
handled that
obsessed with this
watch,
watch.
at an auction house. I handled it at an auction house once, and I just couldn't believe it. It's just the most beautiful.
It's the strangest because pocket watches are little heavy pebbles.
Very much.
As a rule, this is floating away.
My French is not good, but objet d'art.
Objet d'art.
Objet d'art. I mean, that's what that is to me. That could be on the desk.
Beautiful.
And the tick is so incredibly loud. The wind is really crunchy, but the tick is so comforting.
Can we
because
once?
Yeah, please. I say that's not even mine.
I
I say, yeah, please go on. Wind it.
and there is also I know.
Yeah, hold it up to your.
This must be done.
Really
Very
strong.
nice.
And the tick is super loud. I don't know if that's that sort of acoustics of the aluminium.
So your obsession with this, why?
People have said to me it was the Richard Mille of the day, in the sense that there was an exploration into materials innovation.
Sure.
And I think, I might be wrong, but the idea that they asked for this to be made in aluminium, from the aluminium from the mine as well. So the mine, the aluminium that was made for these watches came from their mine. And Vacheron weren't sure if they could make it. There really was some concern over whether they could do it or not. And they pushed and pushed and pushed and did
Very much.
and then never really explored it again because it was such a nightmare.
Yeah.
to
And
work.
also one thing in addition, also if you open the watch, if you look at the movement, you could think probably that maybe the finishing is not similar to let's say regular watches which are made of brass. Not at all. I mean, this is a fantastic movement, beautiful with how do you call it? Interior angles?
Interior angles. So I actually, there's a watchmaker in the clubhouse in London, and she was kind enough to open it up for me. And honestly, I've never seen so many internal angles, which is often the sort of benchmark for the super geek on
Shorthand.
on quality and time spent from an artisan finishing a movement. Honestly, there was 8 to 12 internal angles on this thing.
No, it's a fabulous timepiece.
Absolute, and the glow on the movement as well.
Yeah.
We were joking about the idea of someone maybe putting an open case back on the back to see into the movement because it is so stunning. And I'm pleased to see pocket watches are making a move back into collector communities. people are getting behind them again, and for good reason.
Which is a great thing. Yeah.
You've got all the archive information on these watches. I mean, literally, we've had a few which we've spoken about which haven't actually been correct in the open market, where the case is not right or the movement.
It can happen.
It can happen. So, they're there and they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And relative value, actually, in comparison to what you might think. So they can be had for a couple of £1,000s, which is remarkable to think.
Yeah. We have a step change. We have a Hertz rate change.
Yes, very much.
We're
We're going to make a big jump from 1938 until 2019. So obviously, when we speak about innovation, so I said at the beginning, so I spoke about the Solaria and other developments that we made in the recent years. So I think people who are into watches, they know all these developments. But I'd like to come back, if you agree, on the twin beat.
Christian, give us the brief, because actually, how you live with this watch is...
Yeah, sure. But I love very much the story of the twin beat. So this is, at the very beginning, the idea came out, I would say, during a discussion between two engineers and watchmakers that we have. And they were really thinking about the question of autonomy in a manual winding timepiece. We are not going to talk about the automatic, but manual winding watches. So, there were not so many ways to extend the autonomy of a timepiece. I would say the easiest way, the most natural way, was to increase the size of the mainsprings or to add more and more mainsprings, and so you get more autonomy. But you have a very strong impact on the design.
And by autonomy, Christian means power reserve.
Power reserve, yeah, okay. And so you have a very big impact on the aesthetic, because the more springs you have in your moment, the bigger it is, and so the case, etc., etc., etc. So rather than to take that road, our engineers, they thought about something completely different. They were actually inspired by start and stop systems of cars, where where cars stop at the traffic light, and it saves energy. So that was the beginning of the idea. And so they thought about a movement which could have 2 oscillators, one considered as the active mode, beating at 36,000 vibrations per hour, and the other one, or I'll say 5 Hertz, and the other one, which would be the standby mode, beating at only 1.2 Hertz. Okay, and by simply pushing this button here, you switch from the wearing position to the standby position. So the question was, what kind of advantage do we get with this system? So when you are in active mode with the twin beat, you get 5 days of autonomy, beating at 5 Hertz. And if you decide to go for vacation or anything like that, you put your twin beat on standby mode, and then you jump to the 1.2 Hertz escapement. You put the watch in your safe or somewhere, and the watch will work during the next 65 days without stopping. So that is really clearly, it's a game changer in this notion to gaining power reserve in the timepiece. But what is the most stunning in this timepiece, I think, is the fact that this is a perpetual calendar, right? Which is by the way something it makes absolutely sense to have such a long autonomy for a perpetual calendar, because as you said, it's when you have to reset it, it could be take some time. So it's a 42 millimeter diameter design, and it's less than 11 millimeter thick. So basically, it's a normal watch, right? It's a normal perpetual calendar, but you get 65 days of power reserve.
Christian, when you change Hertz rates, Marcus just had a question from the side here, which is, does that impact the time-telling display? Does that go to sleep as such?
No. Actually, as an anecdote, my 2 colleagues, initially they had the idea of the watch could really like to be like a start and stop system, but that was very complicated. So this is why they came to this solution of having a second oscillator beating at the lowest possible rate, without ruining the accuracy, right?
Any lower than 1.2?
Yeah.
You're in a danger zone of actually.
Below 1.2, we are losing accuracy.
So that's the optimal level.
Yeah, very much.
But I guess that was something you needed to find out.
It was a typical iterations to make. So that's the twin beat, and it's a phenomenal timepiece. Yeah.
High beat watches are more accurate than low Hertz rate watches.
Theoretically, yes.
So if I put this bad boy to sleep for 65 days, what is the accepted amount of accuracy?
After 65 days on standby position?
Yes.
So we made many testing. So the result, after 65 days, we are minus or plus, depending how it's set, maximum 12 minutes, which we consider as fairly acceptable, considering the fact that you actually, it makes more than a couple of months. But it's not supposed to be. I said the watch is supposed to be worn in active mode, obviously. But
which, Justin, we are simple men.
Yep. It's fair to say.
Would you rather adjust your time a few minutes up after 2 months off your wrist, or would you rather deal with resetting a perpetual calendar, because that's what you're getting with this low power mode? You don't have to then face the existential and intellectual crisis of having to reset a perpetual calendar.
It's a good question.
I love it.
I think we are men and also watch geeks. I'm afraid we will not be able to resist to pushing the button and see the 2 oscillators.
I would show everyone that walked past me on the street, check out this 2 Hertz rate options on my watch.
Can I throw something out there that could be divisive.
Why would you ask permission when you never have?
The setting, right, is at 9 o'clock. So you've got the pusher here, which is 8 o'clock. No, that's your pusher there. So 8 o'clock, you can switch between the two different hertz rates. But can I say that the power reserve at 12 might even be more satisfying because it's a large display.
Yeah.
65 days power reserve. I mean, just seeing that actually written there on the dial.
It's a bit of a flex.
And I was winding it, and it's a joy to wind.
Oh yeah, sure.
And that is it may even be more enjoyable for me to be seeing that.
See it go up to 65.
Yeah, and you're winding. I mean, the winding again is...
Yeah, the winding is phenomenal. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And I love the double power reserve indicator because you have the power reserve indicator in black for the active mode and in red for the standby mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool.
Exactly.
So Christian, is this ever coming back? Because it's a long time ago now, 7 years.
No, I mean the twin beat. The twin beat was a kind of it was an R&D development, and we decided to. We found the watch so fantastic and the innovation so stunning that we decided to do a very short production, and I don't sincerely I think around 20-25 watches. And yes,
that's all. There's only 25 out there.
So far, yes, but we might have some good news for the future. Stay tuned.
The super geeks out there respected the innovation, and I know they've been knocking on the door saying, "Where can we see this live?" Because it was almost like a concept. It was a test, and so we're hoping that.
Sure. Final point, at least for me. Also, Justin, you spoke briefly about the design, which is another thing which is great, because the twin beat also has been also a kind of game changer also in terms of design for the traditional line. The traditional line, as the name suggests, is a design which is quite conservative. Okay, it's paying tribute to the great Geneva tradition from the 30s, 40s. I love so much the twin beat aesthetic because there is this tension with this hyper modernity in the movement and the dial, and we still have the classic traditional case.
The movement architecture is absolutely stunning. And the knack finish, is that sort of stealthy black and grey vibe.
And then you have a sapphire bottom half of the dial.
And the logo on the crystal.
Yeah, everything.
At 3 o'clock.
The dial itself was also a challenge because this is once again a great combination of decorative craft. So it's hand guilloché on the upper part.
Upper half, yeah.
So the design, this is design created by our master guillochard. So it's in white gold, and we had to set a sapphire crystal, which has been etched by laser, and then inked in order to have a proper readability. So once again, it's a great mix of tradition and hypermodernity. So I love that watch so much.
I don't want to jump ahead of ourselves here.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, my last comment on this tray is that it's remarkably restrained. I mean, there's so many innovations that could have been brought to the
it's
plate
a choice, right?
In the form of pocket watches, in the form of, I mean, we were in the Louvre less than a year ago seeing an astronomical clock with an automata. Yeah. I mean, it's very much it's a questing maison that never sleeps in that regard.
Oh, sure. And
but it seems like instead of now just going to a big flex like that, we keep it in this realm. Because there's something new in 2026. Justin, you were going there. Do you want to do the honors?
No, you know what you've done, Christian? You've taken us downstairs Christmas Eve, and you've shown us the present under the tree. And yes, these are absolutely fantastic, but you've just left this in the box under the tree.
Yeah.
We've had a sniff at it. We can tell there might be something there that we think we know and we recognise.
Yes.
And
can I let Justin have the mic? I know I rarely like to do this, but Justin, you spoke before standing here from the collector perspective, saying, "This is the one."
Yeah.
What do you mean?
This is the watch the enthusiasts have wanted for so long. Came out in white gold, 2016.
You were right.
2016. No date. I mean, that's one of the. These things keep us up at night. The size, the case sizes, date windows, no date. This is the purist's choice. Overseas 39 millimeters, ultra thin, reassuringly weighty.
Platinum.
But just undecidedly, just sumptuously crafted, like rock solid in the hand. I mean, just beautiful. And just to put the cherry on the cake, you've gone for this salmon-coloured, pink-hued, autumnal-hued sunburst style, on a platinum case and bracelet, which you know is the sort of kryptonite, the kryptonite of the collector combo. So bringing this back, it needed to have all those factors.
Are you going to get to the main point?
I'm just going.
What's inside this thing?
I'm just going. Oh my gosh! You know what?
About?
And that's the best bit. I've actually forgotten to mention the fact that yes,
wow,
it's looking brilliant.
That was a word salad. We need the protein. Let's bring it.
It looks great from the dial side. It feels great in the hand, but we haven't even mentioned the fact this is an all new caliber with a micro rotor on all visible through the case back.
So the 1120 from 68. Yeah. When were you born?
Should I mention it to the public?
You don't have to.
1959.
Okay, so you were 9 years old.
Sure.
When the 1120 was released.
80 hours of power reserve in this new caliber. This is the first time we've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the first model that we're seeing.
Yeah.
The architecture is stunning, and because of the micro rotor, we've been able to achieve. I say we. Vacheron has been able to achieve the ultra thin.
He's part of Vacheron.
I love it. Absolutely
He's just
love
become
it.
his whole personality.
Can I just put it on, because I think actually
Vacheron,
this is the other thing is, from the enthusiast perspective, and we were putting this on earlier, and it looks so good to see it on someone else's wrist.
I've got a picture of Justin trying it on, and his tongue actually is out of his mouth.
There's a little bit of salivation.
He looks like
just a little bit of salivation coming out.
Saliva there.
But tell me. I mean,
I can zoom in on that.
It's got to be.
You got it?
The tongue's even out.
Look at this.
The tongue's even out.
Oh, amazing.
He's hungry.
You've got to see it from the other side of the table. You've got to be able to view it on the wrist of someone else's.
Slim from here, for God's sake.
So a few things, I guess. Sunburst style. That's something that you've pushed into in the overseas family more often than not.
Yeah.
The 222 there, we see a matte finish blue dial. In contrast, here we've got this sunburst salmon. The colour itself must have taken some time to get to. You must have had a few iterations.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
When we saw a sort of an opaque, embargoed version, we wondered if it was pink.
Pink, yeah. And look, we were talking about dusty pink. Not that we're fashionistas, but dusty pink apparently is a big colour right now. And we were thinking, could it be? And actually, in the metal, it's lighter and brighter, and there's variations of this colour across different maisons. But this is a very, very particular.
Yes, I think there are, as you're explaining it, so there are different ways to reach that salmon color. So we didn't want it to make it too rose or too orange or too I don't know what. So this is the hue that we found perfect for this timepiece. Yeah.
And you know what? The markers and the hands are lovely because they're quite contrasted. They're quite stark white.
Super stark.
So there's no efforts here to sort of do any photina or anything like that. This is absolutely clear and legible.
Justin, you are truly just so smitten by the aesthetics that can we speak to the reason it's in innovation, not for the aesthetics.
Sorry, Marcus, I'm just having a moment with the watch and you're pulling me away from it.
It's more than a moment. This is
turning
into a truth.
It's true that I absolutely love what you spoke about. So it's true that I do remember very well the ultra thin caliber 1120 that we made on the overseas in 2016. We did few of them, around 150. And I remember that at the time when we decided to create that ultra thin overseas, that was totally unexpected. And because, for some, what's the point of creating a sports watch with no date, no central second, I would say. Yeah. And it became a kind of a collector. And yes, we are really proud to be back with this kind of hyper elegant, sport elegant timepiece.
Why did you make so few back in 2016? Because that is a smash
hit. That was a kind of tribute to the 222 Jumbo. That was not said like that, but 10 years after we can say it. So that was the idea. Yeah. So okay. I think the very important feature is that we have a brand new ultra thin caliber that required, I would say, 7 years of work from scratch. So 7 years looks like, oh my gosh, they took all the time they wanted to do it. No, not at all, because this is, and to come back to our discussion, this is an innovative ultra thin movement. Right, okay. So we know that there are some 2.4 or 2.4 something calibers that you can see in I would say, within our competitors. But think about it. So the moment is 2.4 millimeter. It has 80 hours of power reserve. And this is something which is quite impressive.
Can I see the barrel, please?
Yeah, of course. And so usually, the thinner you go, the less power reserve you have, obviously, because you have the question of the mainspring. So we have a double, and this is super interesting. We have a double mainspring suspended, okay, And we have also a dedicated gear train, which is on one layer. Okay, so we are optimizing the thickness of the movement, and also we have the micro rotor, which is part of the whole operation. So in a nutshell, we have three different elements which are working together. So the winding rotor, which is the micro rotor, which is winding two barrels, one on top of the other, and they are suspended. And there is one barrel which is storing the energy, and the other one is delivering the energy. So that's why we reach 80 hours of power reserve. And of course, this very special gear train, which is absolutely horizontal, which is on ball bearings, also contributes to the thickness of the movement. So I love it very much, this caliber 2550, because we spoke briefly about the 1120, which is a legendary ultra-thin caliber. So I think it's a kind of a great legacy. So when you have an ancestor who is famous, who really is considered as a very important personality in his field, so I think we really had to make our best efforts to create a brand new, modern, innovative ultra-thin caliber. So welcome to the caliber 2550, and it's great.
I feel like we should have a round of applause or something, or like some sort of a glass of champagne. Justin, you asked me a fairly offensive question before, which
Not the first time.
Certainly wasn't the first time. You asked me if this would be a 222 killer. What did you mean?
It's interesting for people coming to the brand who may not be familiar with the heritage and the lineage and how the products are segmented. There's a fair argument to say, the overseas has always been a little bit more robust, maybe a little bit bulkier, built for action. And actually, I've got to be honest, seeing it on your wrist in comparison to the 222, I do actually see that even in this design. I see it in the bracelet particularly. That bracelet is a very different animal. But my immediate response when I saw those two together was, is this going to start to become a bit like Formula One drivers? You can't pick your number one driver, and they start jostling like they're starting to fight for that championship title themselves. And that's what that is to me, because that is now ultra thin. It's the same feel and the look that we get from the QP overseas ultra thin.
Well, and what do you think? Because Andrew, what do you think, Andrew, about that point?
Well, my response to that was, hang on a second. The ultra thin overseas models were never in steel. They were always in precious. And I suspect that will continue. And you can answer me, Christian.
No, I can't.
I know you won't. So
because we were speculating.
My suspicion is that
this is platinum, right?
So this is platinum,
the thinnest overseas adjacent model in steel would remain the 222.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's my.
No, I think also.
That's
I think
theory.
also.
And I'm in a room where half the room knows the truth, and I could be an idiot here.
No, not at all. No, but I think that I think the 222 is really linked to the history of the brand. It's a watch which is coming from the 70s. It has this great design. The bracelet looks like a second skin. And it's redesigning or redoing a kind of emblematic timepiece from the 70s, right? I think the overseas is a very modern watch in comparison, with the features that you don't have in the 222, like obviously the fact that you can change a bracelet in a few seconds, for example. Also, this kind of modern features. We are more and more living in large cities. We appreciate the fact that we can wear a watch in any occasion. And so I think that makes the success of this kind of watches. So I think there is plenty of room to express ourselves in this area. So from ultra thin, ultra elegant to ultra complicated.
Nice. So I think to wrap this episode, which has been so much fun, gentlemen, absolute blast. Quiet luxury is something that's thrown around whenever Vacheron's mentioned. And you had some quiet technical breakthroughs that made up our innovative watches today. And I feel like that's appropriate. And now the example of innovation is the 2550 caliber, which again is such a quiet whisper of improvement and yet when you break it down, there are so many achievements. And I think again, collectors, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, because I just don't put myself in that mindset, but there's a huge appreciation for doing the simple things even better. And it's things like slimming down and overseas and having this new variation can be hugely exciting, as exciting as perhaps the twin beat, and yet they're in totally different schools of thought.
True, very true.
So both innovative, but so different. And yet I think what we've had so much more of today, perhaps not by accident, is this quiet.
Yeah, it's a super
innovation.
fair point. I agree with you, Andrew. I like very much your comments. And it's, yes, I'd like to add one little thing also. Yes, it's true. So this is quiet innovation. What I love very much in the caliber 2550. We are not doing innovation like with this double suspended barrel, etc. Because we want to shout loud. No, it's because it's bringing our clients more comfort.
Actual value.
And more comfort. Think about, usually, let's take the example of the 1120. Okay, we have like 40 hours of power reserve. Okay, you leave your watch in the safe for the weekend. The Monday morning, you have to set the time. 80 hours, okay, so you have more than 3 days of autonomy. So that's important. And this is why we when we do consider innovation, we always have, I would say, our client in the mind. So this is also a typical example with the twin beat as well. Yeah.
Limited edition.
This one, yes, will be limited to 255, playing with the numbers, with the caliber reference. Yep.
Do you know what's also cool is you get the sense of Vacheron are listening to the collector out there.
Yeah.
They really are. And I appreciate that the life cycle and some out there may not realize just how many years in advance brands are working.
Yeah, sure.
5, up to 5, even longer.
7 years for this one, yeah.
So this is really cool to see this come alive.
And 7 years. And I mean, from the initial design until today and the reveal. So it means that testing, especially when you do ultra thin calibers and everything, when you have new technical solutions like this dedicated gear train, so that needs a hell of a lot of testing, and so this is a matter of responsibility once again from the maison for its clients. Yeah, and look forward. This is a phenomenal timepiece. I love it.
Look, I feel that the talisman on the table, Mr. Vacheron, Jean-Marc himself, his handwriting is in this book. I feel that he'd be pleased with this episode.
Yeah, that was great, really.
Kept it classy somehow. There will be more, and there is more around this episode, so please watch the VC Files again. Like and subscribe, Time+Tide. Thank you, Christian and Justin.
Hey, thank you, Andrew and Justin.
Thanks
so much.
So far. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, with pleasure.
Let's do it.
Thanks.